Welcome to Divine Downloads. Do you want to connect with your intuition more? Create more abundance in your life? Make difficult decisions effortlessly? You're in the right place. The universe is in constant communication with you. Let's quiet the mind, connect with the divine, and allow the wisdom to load. I'm your host, Doris, abundance coach, intuitive channel, and financial consultant. Let's take a deep breath together and dive into the world of the divine. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Divine Downloads, episode 3. I'm coming to you with a bit of a heavy heart this time because of some transformation that's going on in my personal life as well as the collective consciousness, and I'm just feeling a bit low, but showing up regardless because I want to exchange this offering with whoever's listening, whoever's watching, so that we don't have to hold ourselves back, or life doesn't have to stop when things are difficult or hard. We can just learn to get through them without making it a reason to sulk. And that's not to say we can't feel our feelings, sink into our emotions, whatever it is. But it felt right to show up today, basically. So that's why I'm here. And I have a very nice episode prepared. Actually, not so different from my current stage of life. We're going to talk about turbulence, transformation, and of course, tariffs, because we have to add a little finance in there. Okay, so first things first, let's come to a seated position, or if you're walking, just bring yourself to the center. Let's take an inhale together through the nose. Sigh it out. And bring yourself to a place of inwards focus and attention. I forgot to talk about my offerings. So if you didn't listen to the intro, my name is Doris. I offer financial literacy, abundance coaching, intuitive channeling, as well as I have a new program coming out. It's a 5-week abundance and intuition challenge that's going to start with a Gemini new moon on May 26th, and it's going to end with a Cancer new moon in June. And it's going to be a nice 5-week reset, kind of like a mid-year reset, to get us to rebuild our relationship with our craft. And my intention for this is really to get insights from the deepest parts of our soul, our desires, and to get guidance from our intuition into how to step into more abundance into the next stage of our creation, of our craft, of our art. And with that being said, I would love to jump into our tarot offering of the day. I love to do a little tarot at the beginning just to set the tone. And it's beautiful how so many times the tarot that falls out falls in line with the story that I'm going to share. So let's see what tarot has in store for us today. What is a collective message that I can share as an offering with the world? What is, okay, so we got 3. I feel like right now, life is really throwing a lot at us. As a collective, we're being thrown major changes, major lemons, and we have to kind of work with these lemons that are being thrown at us, these challenges, these hardships, these difficulties, kind of coming out of nowhere. And it's a really amazing opportunity for us to tap into our heart space. Really, this message is about life is going to throw a lot of things at you, and you might want to just back your back to the wall, and that might feel like the best way to face all of these challenges, or you might want to duck or avoid or get away, but there's no way to avoid this. There's only one way, and that is through. So it's really about tapping into the heart space and to give as much love as possible, even though it might seem difficult in this moment to open your heart. We're being thrown all these challenges, all these difficulties, all this heartache, all this grief. And yet, our challenge is to open the heart space and allow this grief and this hardship and this momentarily discomfort to move through and offering more and more of that loving kindness that sits in the heart space. And also, the world is encouraging us to dive into what makes you most proud and makes you most happy. I feel like with all of these challenges, it can be so easy to revert to ways of distraction, but not all distraction is bad. Not all distraction is negative or avoidant. I think some distractions can actually be really important for your development of your craft. And so I think this card is really representing if there's something that makes you forget about all the difficulty and all the hardship and all the challenges, bring yourself into that space. And with this card of Eight of Pentacles, is really about practicing your craft consistently. As you can see, he has built so many of these pentacles, and yet he's hard at work continuing, showing up consistently. So let's open up the heart space and continue to show up consistently at what's important for you. Don't let the challenges and the hardships take your attention away from what's important for you, which is your art, your offering, what you have to contribute to society. And I love this reading because it really aligns with kind of my reason for showing up today. Even though I'm not feeling my best, I have some ache in my heart, I'm still showing up because I want to be here. And I really want to show up and I want to share this craft with you. And I think my stories and the insights that I have to share today can be very powerful and can be very resonant. So definitely let me know if you listen to this, if my story is going to resonate with you. But basically, I thought of sharing this story because I'm a 12 house stallion and I kind of don't know what to expect of life. I've gone through more transformation in this 24 years of life than I can count on my fingertips. And with every transformation, I feel like everything in my life completely shifts, whether it's my home, my work and career, my friends, my relationships, they all completely transition at the same time. So I've kind of gone through several of these points of my life where literally everything has suddenly just boom, changed. And I'm going through one of these boom transformations in this moment right now in my life. And it's really got me to think about my previous full life transformation. And I want to share a little bit about that. So in the summer of 2022, that's when I think it all started. I used to be a big workaholic. Like I still am, but I'm a little more aware of it so I can manage my energy better. But back in 2022, I filled up my schedule to the brim. I made sure that I had so much to do in one day that I would literally not have time for breathing. I don't know why I did that. Maybe it's a Capricorn South Node thing coming through. Like I'm so used to being a workaholic and filling up my schedule that was kind of a tendency that I slid into once again. But I had 2 courses in university during the summer. And if you've ever taken a summer course in university, you know that it's accelerated. A 3-month, 4-month semester is squeezed into 2 weeks or 1 month, I think, or 3 weeks. Anywhere between 2 weeks and 1 month. And so it's super accelerated. It's an everyday thing. You get a midterm the second week of school. So it's an intense experience, and it's accelerated, and it requires a lot of work from you. I was taking two of those, and I was giving my schedule and my availability to three different jobs. I had my regular pool job that I've been working at since I was 17 years old, and I had two other jobs, one as a bartender and one as a support worker, which was overnight. So there were literally days where I would open the pool at 5 a.m. I would go to my bartending job from 2 until the evening, and then from the evening I would do an overnight shift from 10 to 6 a.m. at the support working shift. So literally my entire day was filled with shifts back to back to back. And for some reason that made me feel really productive and really good. Like, obviously I'm working so hard, but it made me feel so gratified, and I kind of took pride in it. And that didn't let me hold back from socializing also. At this point in my life, I had some friends in every aspect of life. I had some uni friends, some high school friends, some work friends, and from all of these aspects, I had built some really nice connections. And I decided to bring all of my friends together, make this one big happy family, and that's exactly what I did. They all really enjoyed each other's company, and it just felt like such a lovely, heartwarming space to be in. And it was really lovely while it lasted, but it didn't last very long. Spoiler alert. So this summer of 22, I was busy all the time. And then after I would finish my last shift of the day, I would go out with my friends. I would go wherever we were going, maybe to a club, maybe to a bar, maybe to a friend's house, but I would be out until the wee hours of the morning, and then I would work. So that was kind of a cycle that I was in. I was working, I was going out, I was studying, all the things, all the things. I did not stop whatsoever. Until I think this was the initiation of the transformation for me. I got fired from my bartending job. After 3 months of working there, they said, "You're no longer coming in." And I'm not gonna get into the full reason why I got fired, and I still don't think it was fair that I got fired, because it wasn't entirely just. Like, it wasn't fair the way that they just told me not to come in anymore, because I was getting confirmation and affirmation from all the managers that I'm doing such a good job, that I'm learning all the recipes so fast, that all of these like compliments, compliments, compliments. So it was really out of nowhere the way they asked me to not come in anymore. But I digress. That was kind of the tipping point of the domino effect. I got fired from my job, and then I started the semester for fall, and I fell in love. I met my ex, and we kind of fell in love right away. And I'm not gonna say that didn't impact all of my friendships. It definitely did to an extent, but I also had a difficult relationship with one of my friends who I kind of brought the group together. And so there was definitely tension building, a lot of life transformations. In the winter of 2023, so the beginning of 2023, I went abroad to London. And while I was in London, my life was completely like swept upside down, because I didn't have a job. I went for exchange, so I went for school, but my school was fully canceled because of a strike, because of a union strike. So I ended up not really going to school ever, but I had a really good time in London. I was just very financially stressed because I was not prepared for such an expensive city. But I had an amazing time. I met amazing people, lifelong friendships, the best time ever. And fast forward to May of 2023, exactly 2 years ago, I returned back to Vancouver, and nothing was the same. First of all, I was no longer in school, okay? I finished university in my abroad. My abroad semester was my last semester. So when I came back, I was done with school. I was not a student anymore. That in itself is a huge transformation to process. Another thing was, I had a falling out with one of my friends in the big friend group that I had brought together. And that one falling out ended up resulting in all the falling outs with all these friends. So suddenly I found myself friendless in this city. The third transformation was that I had moved. So I used to live with my parents, and when I came back, I moved in with my ex. And my parents had also moved. So the house that I used to know, the place that I used to call home, my room was no longer there. So when I got back, literally my life had been swiped upside down, and everything was so different. I also didn't have my jobs. I got terminated from one of them, and the other one they just removed me, and one of them fired me, and the other one they just removed me from the system. So I literally had nothing. Nothing was the same when I arrived. And so it was such a major, major, major upheaval and sudden change. And it really reminds me of the Tower card. I did not expect the 6 months away to result in so much transformation and so much change, but it did. And I had really no choice but to accept it, because really that's what life is. You have to take it as it shows up. You can't really negotiate or not accept certain changes. You just have to accept it. And so, yeah, I learned many lessons. And I'm not going to get into the details of each lesson that I learned from each area of life, but one of the biggest lessons or reminders that continues to come through and through is that change is the only constant. And attachment to anything and everything does result in pain. And that's not to say don't attach yourself to things, because I think that's the entire human experience. We're here to experience life, and life in human form as we know it comes with the experience of attachment to things, attachment to experiences, attachment to people, to relationships, to lifestyles. And I think it's only natural for us to form these attachments and to have these associations with certain things. But it's always good to have that under layer of literally anything can change at any moment in life. So you just have to be open and accepting to turbulence as well as transformation, because change is the only constant. So that's kind of similar to an experience I'm going through personally right now. Things are changing, I'm moving. Many, many things are changing. I just quit my job, you guys. If you watched the first episode, you know the story of me quitting my job. But I'm moving, things are changing in my personal life, and it really feels like a time of turbulence as well as transformation. But it's not a time to shy away from experiencing the emotions or saying yes to things even though they feel uncomfortable. Showing up on here even though I'm feeling heartache. It's about embracing the journey as it shows up, and really being fearless and keeping that heart space open, like our reading showed today, and bringing our attention to the things that matter to us, the things that give us that sense of gratification, the things that makes us proud, makes us happy, develops our skill, and develops that beautiful, full engrossment in what we are doing. I don't know if I'm using that word right, but what I mean is a full diverging into the world of the craft that you're practicing. And I think that's really beautiful. Okay, so with that, with turmoil, turbulence, transformation, we cannot not talk about what's going on in the economy right now. Literally, no one wants to talk about it, at least in the spiritual world, because first of all, that used to be me. I used to not understand anything about finances, anything about the economy, anything to do with money. And because I have the spiritual lens of, everything is experience and everything is love and light, I kind of just ignored and pushed that material side of things to the side. And I know that is a very common experience among many spiritualists, as well as creatives, as well as artists, as well as entrepreneurs. We're kind of just so engrossed and focused in our own bubble and world and way of thinking that we kind of push the monetary thing to the side, because we're like, that's not really, I don't really care about that. That comes with a lot of chaos and a lot of turbulence of its own, so I don't want to touch it. But this is kind of the two worlds that I want to blend together, the material world as well as the spiritual world. That is why the podcast is a very much a mix of both finance as well as the spiritual side of things. So I cannot talk about the economy without talking about the turmoil and the turbulence that's happening. A lot of people are, talking about a looming recession. Is there going to be, a lowest of the low in the economic world? And when we're experiencing turmoil in the stock market or the economy, there's a lot of fear around purchasing, around buying, around investing. And this is a rookie wealth building mistake. If you're not investing in this time when the market is low, you are missing huge opportunities of wealth building for your future. Because of this uncertainty, because of this talk of tariffs, talk of less exchange, less global exchange, more local economy, there's a lot of fear around what kind of financial moves can I make? Is it a smart time to invest? Is it a smart time to put my money into the stock market? And all of these ideas of uncertainty, they make us kind of stuck in a place where we don't want to make any moves because we're so uncertain. And kind of one of the things that I want to share is let's forget the whole uncertainty aspect of things. Yes, we are living in an uncertain economy in the moment, but history has shown that the market is in a constant influx. Even though there is fluctuation, even though there's lows, there's higher days literally a few days after. So it's really important to have that at the back of your head, that the stock market or the economy is in a constant upheaval. It's going up. It's never going to come fully down. There's no such thing as a crash. Even in 2008, when there was a huge stock market crash, it started to go up double, triple the amounts that it went down. So if you're thinking of the stock market as an escalator, it is constantly going up. The up and down of it is still very much a thing. You can't ignore the fluctuation of the market, but that does not mean there's going to be a crash in the stock market and there's going to be something going to completely disappear. The stock market is never going to disappear, and it's always a good idea to invest when the market is down. And right now the market is down. It's a huge opportunity to buy because your money goes farther. And one of the biggest rookie mistakes to avoid when it comes to wealth building is keeping your money cash or keeping your money in your bank, because that money is losing its value to inflation anyway. Inflation is constantly moving up, and your cash that you're keeping in under your pillow or keeping in your bank account with 0.01% of interest is just continuing to lose its value and more and more and more. So why wouldn't you use this perfect opportunity in the market to be feeling confident and put more of your money into the market and invest more units with less money? So it is uncertain periods, it is uncertain times in the collective consciousness, and it's reflecting in the economy. But that is all to say everything is on its own divine timeline, and everything that you're experiencing outside of you in the collective consciousness as well as within you in your individual consciousness, everything is connected and everything is happening for expansion. There is no bad or good. Everything is neutral, but everything is here for expansion. Every single experience is here for you to explore yourself more. You are the divine experiencing life through your unique lens. We are all one. We are all the same, of the same source. And we are unique expressions of unity, oneness. Hence why my brand name is Door to Unity. Open the door to unity. And it's really beautiful when you think about everything is on a divine timeline, and all the pain and all the nastiness and all the heartache and all the pain is literally all here for your experience, and it's all here for your expansion. And regardless of whether the stock market is up or down, there's a way that you can move in a way that you're showing groundedness in your moves. And when you're grounded in your energy, when you're grounded in the way that you move, your wealth reflects that. You build more wealth the more grounded you are. That's why we got the Eight of Pentacles in the tarot. The Eight of Pentacles is all about consistency, consistently showing up, consistently trusting yourself, consistently trusting that you can make the right moves. And one of the right moves to make in this moment is to invest more into the market. But that's basically all I have prepared for you guys. I do want to pull out one extra card because you know we always do it in this podcast. So let's see. Can we get one last card? The Lovers. A lot of loving energy is popping up today. The Lovers is not exactly or necessarily about love or being in love. It's mostly about choices and making decisions. And the Lovers card, I feel, is here to tell you to choose from a place of love rather than a place of fear, and really sink into the decisions that you're making into its core. And this can be so much harder said than done, because at any given time, depending on our groundedness, our consciousness, our level of rootedness, we act differently. But the Lovers is really inviting you to tune into the most grounded place that you can find within you in this given moment. I mean, it is Taurus season. We are being asked to slow down and to move with a lot more slowness. And I think the Lovers is also here to ask you to move slowly, move with groundedness, and make decisions from a place of rootedness. And however that looks for you, it's beautiful. And again, everything is here for your experience and your expansion. Okay, thank you so much for listening. If you made it all the way through, sending you lots of love and blessings and abundance. And see you guys next week.